submitted for your approval to the Midnight Society. I call this tale...
Nope! Chupacabras.
If you can guess where all of these are coming from, you win a cookie, sir. Anyway...
Hey.
You owe so many people cookies. I swear,
I would,
like at
I do.
least 3 million people.
If you ever meet me at a location and say, Benny, I want my cookie, I will walk you to the nearest place that sells cookies and buy you a cookie. Okay?
There we go.
Oh,
It'll probably be a Starbucks because they've always got cookies for $8, but...
It'll be a crappy cookie, but it'll be a cookie nonetheless.
There goes my raise. What happened to your raise, Dan? Well, Benny owed a lot of people a cookie because they watched to the end of the video.
Yeah.
I'll start saying ice cream. I'll start upping the ante.
Oh, God.
Yes.
A lobster dinner.
Lobster Thermidor from Lego Batman. All right, so today we are going to be continuing our show, Nope. Nope's concept is really simple. We find a recent sighting of an animal. I have what is a self-proclaimed disbeliever of almost all of this stuff, as much as he enjoys the ideas. And I have someone who is also a disbeliever, but likes to come up with reasons why it could be true. And we're going to look at these recent sightings and see if these sightings will convert us to be believers of the paranormal or cryptozoology or whatever we're discussing. Today, there was a recent sighting of a chupacabra.
Wait, there was another one today, or we're talking about it today?
It's only June 20th, and this sighting was May 21st, so it's recent.
I mean, I'm just saying, if there was another one of that May 20th one, then I would believe it a lot more.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start this by explaining what a chupacabra is, okay? Because if you don't know what a chupacabra is, then where have you been? But
Right.
the chupacabra is literally translated from goat sucker. Chupra, to suck, and cabra, goat.
There you go.
It is known as both chupacabras and chupacabra throughout the Americas, with the former being the original name and the latter a regularization. The name is attributed to the Puerto Rican comedian Silvero Perez, who coined the label in 1995 while commenting on the attacks as a San Juan radio DJ. I didn't realize Chupacabra was that new.
That recent?
Yeah. I thought it was a lot
I feel like the
older than that.
Chupacabra's been like inexorably connected to like the Bigfoot, the Loch Ness Monster, the Leech Woman. Like there's so much lore surrounding the Chupacabra. And I think maybe it's the fact that it is so recent is why I give more credence to the Chupacabra than any other creature. Because I'm like,
well, they have sightings of what they have now attributed to be a Chupacabra going back to 1975.
Yeah.
But even that is still recent in comparison to like Bigfoot, Loch Ness that have been going on.
yeah.
So in 1975, a series of livestock killings in a small town were attributed to El Vampiro del Morco, the vampire of Morco.
Okay.
Initially, it was suspected that the killings were committed by a satanic cult. Later, more killings were reported around the island, and many farms reported the loss of animal life. Each of the animals was reported to have had its body bled dry through a series of small circular incisions.
Yeah.
If you didn't know what the Chupacabra supposedly does, this is it.
This is it. And it's gross. Yeah.
The first reported attack that was attributed to actual Chupacabras was March 1995. 8 sheep were discovered dead in Puerto Rico, each with 3 puncture wounds in its chest area and reportedly completely drained of blood. A few months later, in August, an eyewitness reported seeing the creature in a Puerto Rican town, Canavanos.
Okay.
I can't pronounce it, but you get it. Where as many as 150 farm animals and pets were reportedly killed.
Okay. Now, of course, we could always assume if you're living in an area that has any kind of animal population, if you have livestock and pets, there are predators out there that will invariably attack. I know in my area, it's not even close to like Puerto Rico and Mexico, but we have different creatures that come in the night and take our beloved pets and livestock, coyotes, wolves, bears, that kind of thing. I know that I've heard the closest thing to the Chupacabra is the coyote, but it doesn't jive with the description of the Chupacabra, which I've heard described as having scales.
So there's actually 2 eyewitness accounts of what a Chupacabra is, which is where these disputes happen. The most common description is a reptile-like creature with leathery, scaly, greenish-gray skin, sharp spines, or quills on its back. It's approximately 3 to 4 feet high and stands and hops in a fashion similar to a kangaroo. What would you do if you just saw this
I would crap my pants and leave in that order.
In that order.
Oh my God.
The second appearance is that it is a strange breed of wild dog.
Right.
The form is mostly hairless and has a pronounced spinal ridge, unusually pronounced eye sockets, fangs, and claws.
Yeah.
Unlike conventional predators, the Chupacabra is said to drain all the animal's blood, usually 3 holes, blah, blah, blah. So,
That sounds
that is-
like Professor Lupin from Harry Potter.
Right. That is literally just a coyote with mange. That's what that is. That's what that is. A coyote. I've seen coyotes in real life. They scare the hell out of me. They are strange looking creatures. You think you know what a coyote looks like. You've seen movies with coyotes. You've seen cartoons with coyotes. Maybe you've seen a coyote at the zoo or something. But then you see it out in the wild where they have to like scrounge and forage. They're not being fed regularly, and it's a whole nother ball game. Then you factor mange into that situation, and they look exactly like you'd imagine.
So there you go. In Chupacabra facts, there is a theory running that it is a coyote with mange. So it would look like this: a hairless coyote, pronounced spine because it's not eating well.
Right.
It's got issues.
Yeah, even when it's like it has half its fur, like they talk about like quills. That's just its remaining hair having no nourishment, and as such, it's like pointed outwards. That's like the most explicable. Where it's just like there are a lot of coyotes are pack animals. There are quite a few of them. You know, they reproduce pretty quickly, and as a result, you never run out of chupacabras. Is my point.
Right. Well, I will even say, going with the reptile greenish gray skin,
Looks like
if you're
that.
If you're seeing this in the dark and it's hopping away, you know.
I'm telling you, having seen coyotes in the wild, it looked like a puppet. Like it looked like like an invisible hand was puppeteering it. I was like, I've never seen anything move like that in my life.
Here's the artist rendition of what they think the Chupacabra looks like.
Nailed it.
The scaly one looks like El Chupanibre from Futurama, which is basically the Chupacabra of the sewers. But the second one looks like it definitely could be misconstrued as something horrific because it's something
I mean, you
horrific.
see one of these at night, right?
Yeah.
And they're talking about livestock in an area where it's not like it's a ton of illumination. You don't have street lights and stuff like that.
And like
you've
when
got
you-
just your flashlight, you shine it on and its eyes glow. You ever shine a flashlight on a cat's eyes? It's like, oh my God, there's a demon on my couch.
Oh, it's just one of my cats. That's right. No, the chupacabra is one of my favorite myths because it's like, yeah, there are definitely chupacabras. If you want to call a coyote with mange a chupacabra, like that's a real thing. They look really scary.
That's right there, the face of a coyote with mange.
Yeah, that's scary as hell, and I don't immediately classify it. Like I don't go like, oh, that's a dog. That's just a dead dog. Like nope,
Right.
it's a messed up dog-like creature. That being said, I've seen pictures, and I don't know if I have a picture here, but like, and I don't want to look it up because I don't want to fill my Google history with a bunch of creepy stuff. But
Don't worry, mine's damaged irreparably at this point.
that's right. But I've seen pictures of like smaller creatures where I'm like, that's a straight up alien or something. Like where I'm like, that's crazy looking. And so I want, if any place, if you're ever going to get a chupacabra, like if you're ever going to get one of these cryptozoological creatures, I'll take a chupacabra. Even if it's just a coyote.
So now this brings us to the actual topic of the day.
Yes, please.
So there is a sighting of another Chupacabra at the Armadillo Zoo. Okay.
Okay.
So here's the one that was sent to us by Dan and Fish Sticks from our community.
Oh, great.
Now, this doesn't line up with anything that we just. Maybe that's the lizard man.
I mean, that looks like it looks like a weird interpretation of a werewolf. It looks like a coyote walking on its hind legs. Like, yeah.
It looks like if Bigfoot
Our chat
mated
says it's
with the
Weasel from
Chupan-
Suicide Squad.
Yes, it looks like Weasel. Thank you. It looks
Yes.
exactly like Weasel,
That's exactly.
which is basically just a coyote with mange walking on 2 legs.
Which would also be horrifying.
So they
Which
don't
I
have
don't wanna
much
see.
about it. They found this image on one of the security cameras at 1:30 a.m.
Yeah.
That's literally the story. Hey, this was on our camera.
Yeah, that's cool. That I appreciate it because it's a zoo. They are at least in some way obligated to, portray the animal kingdom in an honest and frank fashion. Although it is a hell of a publicity stunt. Like, it does work where it's like, we got to go to this zoo. But then it becomes like, and it's like, they're not going to get this creature because obviously it's either fake or an animal with a problem.
So this one right here, I think is fake. I think that you're right. This is a publicity stunt because if you read the article, it's literally like, warning, we might have a chupacabra right off the grounds. You might want to come check out our zoo.
Oh, that sucks. That's like one step away from having a sideshow circus.
Yeah.
Where you're just exploiting malnourished animals for profit.
But there's also this other one here. Now, this one was also sent to us by one of our viewers, okay?
Oh,
what is that?
Damn.
So this is what they're claiming the Armadillo Zoo found. Now, I can't find this in an article.
Oh.
So...
Is this a picture or is this footage?
Still image.
Oh, yeah, look, it's just zooming in.
So the woman's stating right now that is just a coyote. So that is what the debate was. Is this a chupacabra?
Yeah, that is straight up. Yes, it is. In as much as a chupacabra is a coyote with a problem, that is a coyote. That is 100% a coyote. And if they did get it on its hind legs,
we got a good scene.
Because if they did have it on its hind legs, number one, we would have seen it in this video because because you want to see that in startling HD. In this case, it could do that. I mean, I've seen dogs walk on their hind legs before, and if it's sick, if it's going insane.
The animals do weird things when they think they're going to die or they're having an actual issue.
Right. Yeah. No, this is just, man, can you imagine being Lewis and Clark and you're just rolling over the American West and you see animals that you've never even heard of before?
So our chat is bringing up.
Imagine how messed up that would be.
Yeah, exactly. This one I grabbed last second. The other one's what I wanted to show today. This is 2017.
Okay.
So I don't know why this came up with the Armadillo Zoo thing, because in the article it reads
well, because that one grew up and evolved into the Chupacabra, which is on two hind legs.
There we go.
Security cameras of the Armadillo Zoo. They're saying it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming that this article was like, okay, cool. So the zoo found one. Let's use an old photo and see if that's a chupacabra.
Yeah, let's use the more believable photo. Oh, that just outs that it's literally a coyote. Yeah, or it could be a coyote with leprosy because armadillos do, of course, carry leprosy occasionally. So, could be that.
That's an odd fact to just randomly know.
That is our sighting of a chupacabra.
Fake.
This is a bit of a shorter episode simply because I couldn't find a master list of chupacabra sightings to go through.
You know what?
And
get in, get out. You know what I mean? We talk about the chupacabra. You got a better picture, you send it to us. We'll do another episode that's an hour long.
I do apologize. I could not find any a massive list like we've normally had in the past. But it actually makes sense because if it was only been discovered as of 1995,
right?
There's not going to be years of backlog of them.
Right.
Yeah, even the ones from the 70s, it's not. You as it's proven. You need a century to basically build the lore. I mean, the Loch Ness Monster has medieval origins. Bigfoot is has Native American origins. Aliens, of course, forever.
Aliens.
The Yeti, Wendigo, all these creatures all have roots in either westward expansion or
Jersey Devil did. We had stuff
Jersey
going
Devil
back as
is 1800s. Come on. So the Chupacabra he's a freshman in the cryptozoological world, but he'll get there.
Do you think that the Chupacabra, right now, the general consensus is that it's a coyote with mange.
Right.
No one's really seeming to believe the overall scaly appearance of it. They're all coming across. Do you think that this is going to turn into something more? Give it 50 more years and the lore will not be established around this?
Well, here's the thing. Clearly there are enough coyotes with mange where this is a problem. We got to cure these coyotes because if we don't, we're either going to... The point is, if we lose all the coyotes, I think that would help the Chupacabra myth even more because we have all these photos of things and people not having any context for them. We'll only grow the myth.
Right.
If the coyote population surges or continues unabated, then I imagine that it's just going to be more people going I saw a Chupacabra once. Are you sure about that? Because I know for a fact that it looks exactly like this, and I have a picture of what that is, and it's not a Chupacabra. We might as well just call coyotes with mange are Chupacabras. just what we call them. Like, that's a word for them. Instead of saying coyote with mange, we just say chupacabra, and the science community is like, yes, okay, yes. It's a poor coyote that is suffering from mange. Done. It's not even crypto. It's not even crypto in the zoological sense. Like, it's not like it doesn't exist. It does. It's just that's what they are.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's weird that because we can only stretch these episodes out because I have all these other sightings and all these things to go over. Dan, do you have any crazy theories as to what this is? Because it's got three. Because the only thing we have left now is that there's three puncture holes.
This is my thing about it. Is I honestly think the chupacabra and these images are not the same thing.
Right.
I think these images of the coyotes is just something that happens to be nearby, and what is one of those, we need to explain it in some way, so they see this and that's what they call it. Because of the fact that the chupacabra came out of the myth of the livestock was drained of blood with 3 puncture holes. Coyotes eat meat. They would destroy those animals more than just suck their blood out. And so I think that a chupacabra is something completely different and something that could actually exist for the sake of
something's sucking these animals.
Exactly. Like, something is like doing that. Like, something is getting because draining all of the blood from something is not, it takes time. It's not something just naturally happens. Very few animals, I'm not sure, very few animals have been listed as sucks the blood out of their prey.
Right. Even vampire bats, all they do normally, and I've seen it happen, it's actually kind of fascinating, is like they crawl, bats, they crawl along the ground and they cut the heels of livestock and they lick the wound. But they don't descend on them and and bleh, like they, you know what I mean? Like, they're not like vampires, but they do that, and that's that's how they get away with it, because they sneak up, and also if I ever saw a bat crawling on the ground, I'd probably freak out. But but again, I imagine it would take a significant amount of work and time and strength for some beastie to descend on a livestock animal or a pet and drain it of blood. I've never even heard of an animal that does that. Maybe in the fish community, but even then.
And not even just that, but the fact of there's multiple. Like, it's not like, according to the thing you were saying, like, it was multiple livestock that was drained of the blood. And while yes, you could potentially attribute it to some sort of satanic cult, some sort of weird human ritual, very few of them is draining blood through a couple holes. Usually it's you sacrifice a live animal on an altar, or at least that's the traditional, the stories that people tell. It's we killed a live goat on this altar to raise Baphomet or whatever.
Sure.
But that's why I think that, honestly, the scale-like creature sounds a little more plausible for what could potentially be this creature, because of the fact that reptiles are more puncture wound. When you think
we have a solid
snake,
photo of it that was sent to me by one of our viewers just now. A good photo of the chupacabra. Okay.
Is this going to be some sort of joke?
Is this like a clown or a picture?
Are you going to show me El Chupanibre?
So this may be a creature from Star Wars, or maybe the chupacabra, but
But
the other thing I was going to say was the fact that it's only 3 puncture wounds as well, which is an abnormal amount of teeth for any creature. Most of the time there's at least 4 or more.
No, Kowakian monkey lizards only have the beak, and they only have 1 puncture wound. So I call BS on your Salacious Crumb reference.
All right, well, that is today's episode of Nope. I will not lie. I had that recent sighting, and I did not know that Chupacabra was that new.
Yeah.
I've always assumed since I was a kid, Chupacabra is just like everything else. Jersey Devil, Bigfoot, it's just another thing.
Hold on. One thing to be said there, though, is it very easily could be, because what you stated was that it was named in 1995.
Right. It's been around since the 70s or more. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. It could have been around for a lot longer than that and been under a different name of some sort, or just described as weird situations of livestock being drained of blood. So
totally.
it's only recently gotten the name Chupacabra. So
Right.
just worth putting out there.
Okay.
So next week, we're going to be looking at the American Loch Ness creature, Champ. And for those who are wondering why we haven't
Of
touched
course, the American one would just be named Champ.
I've heard of Champ. Okay, cool.
it's from Lake Champlain. That's why.
Yeah.
Okay, still. I would have gone with like Champla. That sounds more.
And for those who are
cryptozoological.
constantly questioning why we aren't doing much aliens, because that is going to be all of season 2 of Nope. Because trust me, I can get 10 alien sightings pretty easily.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Has this made you a believer, Sal, in the Chupacabra?
Only if we decide to start calling coyotes with mange chupacabras. Like,
Okay.
officially. Otherwise, I don't think there's anything else. I don't think there's like a secret. Like, there's an animal out there's like, whoo, good thing there's all these coyotes with mange. Now I can really get some damage done. Like, I don't think there's anything else besides this.
I'm on the other side. I think there is something out there that's potentially draining things of blood that we can't explain.
There's a problem we need to solve.
But I do think that what people think is a chupacabra is just a coyote with mange. Like, so I both believe and disbelieve it in a way. So.
It's very safe.
All right. Well, that's the episode of Nope. We'll see you guys next time right here while I try to make them into believers.